Tonight, we are entering into the surprisingly fascinating world of raccoons. Animals many of us think we already understand. Animals we see in backyards, on roadsides, or in the corners of cities. And yet, beneath that familiar masked face is a world of intelligence, adaptability, and surprising depth that most people never stop to notice. This is a story about curiosity that survives anywhere, about minds shaped by problem-solving, memory, and persistence, about a creature that thrives on the edges of the human world, learning our patterns, watching our habits, and quietly rewriting the rules of survival. The more you learn about raccoons, the more they challenge what we think we know about animal intelligence and about nature itself. If you enjoy these gentle journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, there is nothing you need to do but relax. Let your body soften and allow your breathing to slow, and allow your mind to gently unwind as we learn about these remarkable creatures together. Let's begin. Raccoons can solve complex puzzles faster than even the smartest of dogs. Put a raccoon in front of a new problem and it does not just guess. It investigates. It tests the edges, tries a latch, then changes approach when nothing moves. What makes this impressive is the speed of their learning. They often figure out what matters and ignore what does not. In controlled studies, raccoons have worked through tasks with multiple parts that must be moved in the right order. They use both paws like tools, and they keep going with a focus that surprises people. This matters in the real world because food is often hidden. It is under bark, inside shells, behind fences, or under lids. A raccoon that can solve a barrier gets meals other animals never touch. That problem-solving is one reason they thrive in so many places. Their front paws stay extra sensitive because they often hunt in water. Raccoons do not rely on eyesight alone. Their hands are their main way of reading the world. They search in shallow streams, ponds, and muddy edges where vision is unreliable. Their front paws are packed with touch receptors, so they can detect shape and texture with tiny movements. Water makes the skin more responsive, so touch becomes even sharper. That is why they often reach and feel, even when the prey is hidden. They can locate crayfish under rocks, find insects under wet leaves, and feel for shells in the silt. This is not random splashing. It is careful sensing. Their paws can sort food from debris by feel, which saves time and energy. Once you notice how much information they gather through touch, their behavior makes sense. They are not just grabbing. They are reading a dark environment with their hands. A raccoon can remember a solution for years after learning it once. Some animals need constant practice to keep a skill. Raccoons can hold on to a lesson for a long time. After learning how to get a reward from a specific challenge, they may return years later and do it again with little hesitation. That kind of memory is powerful in the wild. It means a good feeding spot stays useful long after the first visit. It means a safe route through a risky area stays available. It means a bad experience can shape future choices. Long memory also changes how they deal with people. If a raccoon learns that a certain yard always has food, it may keep returning across seasons. If it learns that a certain trap is dangerous, it may avoid similar setups later. This is why quick fixes often fail. You are dealing with an animal that remembers. That famous black mask may reduce glare and sharpen night vision. Night is not always dark. Moonlight reflects off water, snow, wet roads, and pale rooftops. Glare can wash out detail and make it harder to track movement. Dark fur around the eyes may help by cutting that glare, which can improve contrast. Better contrast makes it easier to spot the edge of a branch, the ripple of a fish, or the motion of an insect. The mask may also help raccoons read each other. Facial signals are easier to notice when the face has strong dark and light zones. That matters in low light, where subtle expressions disappear. People often think the mask is just a cute pattern. It may actually support the raccoon's whole night lifestyle. A small boost in seeing can decide whether a hunter finds food or goes hungry. When survival depends on tiny clues, even fur patterns can matter. Raccoons thrive in cities because they quickly learn human routines. Cities look hostile, yet raccoons treat them like a predictable food landscape. They notice patterns fast. Trash appears on certain nights. Restaurants close at certain hours. Parks empty after dusk. Back doors get left open during deliveries. A raccoon that learns those rhythms can avoid danger and find food with less effort. They also learn where people rarely look. They move along fences, hedges, rooftops, and drainage routes that keep them out of sight. Urban life rewards flexibility, and raccoons are built for it. They can switch feeding spots when one changes. They can adjust their timing when a neighborhood gets busier. This is why you might see the same raccoon at the same corner night after night. It is not wandering. It is following a schedule that humans accidentally created. In a city, intelligence is often the best camouflage. They can open latches, turn knobs, and defeat many animal-proof bins. Many animal-proof designs assume animals push and pull in simple ways. Raccoons do not. They use hands. They grip, twist, lift, and pry. They can work a lid while holding the container steady with the other paw. They can feel how a latch works, then repeat the exact motion that releases it. That is why a bin that defeats a dog may fail against a raccoon. This is not brute force. It is coordination. They also learn from success. Once one raccoon figures out a specific latch style, others in the area may start trying the same trick. People notice this when a whole street suddenly has trash scattered again. It feels like the raccoons got smarter overnight. What really happened is that one good solution spread. If you want to outsmart them, you need designs that require more than a clever hand. Raccoons climb down trees headfirst by rotating their powerful hind feet. Most animals back down a tree because their feet are built for climbing up, not down. Raccoons have a special advantage. Their hind feet can rotate far enough that they can place the soles against the bark while descending. That lets them climb down headfirst with control. Headfirst matters because it keeps their eyes on what they are doing. They can pick safe footholds, avoid weak branches, and react quickly if a predator appears below. It also lets them escape fast when surprised. A raccoon can reach a high spot for safety, then drop back down without turning around and losing time. This ability is one reason they are so confident in trees, rooftops, and fences. When you see a raccoon descend like it is walking down a ladder, you are watching a body built for three-dimensional travel. It is not clumsy. It is engineered. They eat almost anything, from insects and fruit to mussels and corn. Raccoons succeed because they do not bet their life on one food. If berries are gone, they switch to insects. If insects are scarce, they search for shellfish near water. If wild food is limited, they take advantage of farms and gardens. That flexible diet means they can live in forests, wetlands, suburbs, and city centers. It also explains why their behavior changes from place to place. A coastal raccoon may spend time along shorelines. A rural raccoon may focus on fields. A city raccoon may patrol alleyways and bins. This is not pickiness. It is strategy. They choose what is easiest and most available. It also makes them important in ecosystems because they interact with many species. They eat pests, they spread some seeds, and they compete for resources with other animals. When you can eat almost anything, you can survive almost anywhere. Mother raccoons run a tight household, teaching skills one lesson daily. A young raccoon is not born knowing how to survive. It learns through a long apprenticeship with its mother. She chooses safe places to rest. She leads the kits to food. She controls the pace, so they do not wander into danger. As they grow, she exposes them to harder tasks. The kits practice climbing, foraging, and exploring under her watch. They also learn what not to do. A sharp warning sound can stop a kit in its tracks. Over time, the young become more independent, but the early training shapes everything. This is why the same species can succeed in so many environments. The mother does not teach one fixed script. She teaches the kits how to learn. By the time they separate, they have a toolbox of behaviors. They know how to search, how to test, and how to adapt. That is a powerful inheritance. Raccoons are wild animals, yet their curiosity makes them seem fearless. Curiosity can look like bravery, especially when an animal approaches human spaces. Raccoons often investigate new objects, new smells, and new sounds. In cities, that can bring them close to porches, garages, and back doors. People sometimes mistake that boldness for friendliness. It is not. It is opportunism. A raccoon is still a wild animal with sharp teeth and a strong defensive reaction if cornered. Their curiosity also creates conflict. When they discover a reliable food source, they may return repeatedly, even if it annoys people. This is why safe boundaries matter. Do not feed them. Do not try to touch them. Do not assume they will behave like pets. If you respect their distance, you can appreciate what you are seeing. A raccoon that explores without fear is showing a survival style that works. It is willing to test the world, then adjust instantly to what it learns. The word raccoon comes from an Algonquian term meaning scratches with hands. That name is not poetry, it is a field note. Long before modern wildlife biology, people watched how this animal handled the world. It does not just bite and swallow. It feels, grips, pulls, and peels. It scratches at bark to reach insects. It rakes through leaf litter to uncover beetles. It searches with fingers the way other animals search with noses. Even the way it eats can look like careful handling rather than feeding. That hand-first lifestyle shaped the human impression so strongly that it ended up in the name itself. It also hints at why raccoons adapt so well. A creature that can manipulate objects can access food that is protected by shells, husks, or obstacles. When you hear the origin of the word, you are hearing a record of observation from the people who lived alongside raccoons the longest. Their scientific name means before dog, a nod to early confusion. When European naturalists first tried to classify animals, they relied heavily on appearance. Raccoons have a dog-like face, a sturdy body, and a confident walk. So the early naming history ended up with a label that suggests a strange place in the family tree. The name stuck, even after better comparisons showed raccoons are not dogs at all. That little mistake is useful because it reveals how science grows. It begins with guesswork, then improves through careful evidence. Raccoons became a reminder that looks can mislead. Two animals can share features yet be distant relatives. Today, the name reads like a fossil from an earlier stage of knowledge. It is also a warning label for your own assumptions. If you think you understand a raccoon because it seems familiar, The name itself is telling you that people once thought the same, and they were wrong. Raccoons belong to their own family, not the bear family. A lot of people assume raccoons are small bears because of the build, the fur, and the climbing. It is an easy mistake. But raccoons sit in their own distinct family group, with close relatives that look nothing like bears. This matters because it explains their odd mix of traits. They have the confidence of a larger mammal, but the lifestyle of a flexible forager. Their bodies are built for climbing and ground travel, and their heads are built for searching and sorting food. Seeing them as their own branch helps you notice what makes them different. They are not a scaled-down version of something else. They are a specialist in living between habitats. Forest edges, wetlands, farms, suburbs, and city blocks all fit that niche. Once you stop trying to file them under bear, their behavior makes much more sense. They are most active at night, but hungry raccoons break schedules. Night activity gives raccoons cover. Many predators and many people are less active after dark, and that lowers risk. But raccoons are practical. If food is scarce, safety rules bend. In places with heavy competition, you can see raccoons shifting their timing to avoid rivals. In a drought, daytime visits to water can become more common. In a cold snap, an early evening search can start before the sun fully drops. This flexible schedule is a survival tool. It means the raccoon is not trapped by instinct alone. It can adjust to weather, scarcity, and human activity. That is also why they can surprise you. You might think you are safe from an encounter because it is midday. The raccoon does not care about your expectations. It cares about calories and risk. When hunger rises, the timetable becomes negotiable. Their hearing is sharp enough to notice tiny movements in leaves. Sound is often the first warning in the wild. For a raccoon, a faint rustle can mean prey, danger, or opportunity. Small animals moving through leaf litter give off tiny signals, and raccoons can lock onto them. That ability helps them hunt without seeing. It also helps them avoid trouble. A soft footstep, a shifting branch, or a distant bark can trigger an instant change of direction. You can watch a raccoon pause, lift its head, and angle its ears as if the air just spoke. In darkness, hearing becomes a map. It tells them where a creek is flowing. It hints at where insects are buzzing. It reveals where other animals are feeding. Good hearing also helps in busy places. In a city, noise can hide danger, yet raccoons learn to pick out the sounds that matter. The world is loud, and they are listening for the important parts. Their sense of touch guides them more than sight in darkness. Raccoons live in a world where vision can fail. Under thick brush, inside drains or along muddy banks, the clearest information is not what you see. It is what you feel. Touch lets them judge whether something is edible without bringing it close to the mouth. It lets them probe holes for hidden insects. It lets them separate hard shells from soft food. This is why their foraging can look slow and deliberate. They are not hesitating. They are gathering data. Imagine trying to identify objects in a bag without looking. That is a raccoon's normal life. Touch also helps them move safely. Feeling a branch before shifting weight reduces falls. Feeling the edge of a ledge prevents a misstep. For people, darkness feels like loss. For a raccoon, darkness is a normal operating condition. Their hands keep working when their eyes would be guessing. That is a different way of experiencing the night. Raccoons can run surprisingly fast when startled or chased. They might look like slow, round scavengers when they are relaxed. Do not let that fool you. When a raccoon decides it needs distance, It can sprint hard and change direction quickly. That speed matters because their life is full of sudden threats. A dog appears. A car rounds a corner. A larger predator steps out of cover. A fast burst can be the difference between escape and injury. What makes it more impressive is how they use terrain. They cut through brush, slip under fences, and climb the moment the ground becomes risky. Their movement is not about winning a race across an open field. It is about getting to the nearest safe route. If you have ever seen one bolt, you notice the athletic side that people overlook. The body that seems clumsy at a distance becomes sharp and controlled up close. Speed is one of their hidden tools. They are strong swimmers and can cross rivers to reach food. Water is not always a barrier for raccoons. It can be a roadway. They swim with steady strokes and keep their heads high, and that opens up new territory. A creek can lead to better foraging. An island can hold nests and shellfish. A shoreline can offer food that inland animals cannot reach. Swimming also helps them escape. If a chase reaches the edge of water, a raccoon can slip in and create distance fast. This ability widens their home range without requiring special migration. It also makes them resilient. Floods and changing waterways can disrupt other animals, yet raccoons can adapt by simply crossing. In human landscapes, canals and drainage systems become travel routes, not obstacles. That is one reason they spread into new neighborhoods. When you build water channels, you might think you are creating boundaries. To a raccoon, you might be creating highways. Raccoons often live alone, yet they tolerate neighbors in rich areas. Raccoons are not pack hunters, and they do not need a group to survive. Many adults travel solo, especially when food is spread out. But when a place offers abundant food, the rules change. A single park, orchard, or waterfront can support several individuals close together. Instead of constant fighting, they often develop a kind of uneasy tolerance. You can see this in neighborhoods with easy meals. Multiple raccoons will visit the same route at different times. Some may even overlap briefly without a battle. It is not friendship, it is economics. The cost of fighting can outweigh the benefit of defending a resource that keeps refilling. This is a useful lesson about animal behavior. It is not just personality. It is strategy shaped by the environment. When resources are scarce, space matters more. When resources are plentiful, peace becomes cheaper. Raccoons adjust accordingly, and that flexibility shows how tuned they are to opportunity. In winter, they conserve energy by sleeping for long stretches. Raccoons do not truly hibernate like some mammals, but winter still changes their lives. Cold increases the cost of movement, and food becomes harder to find. So raccoons shift into a low-spending mode. They spend more time in sheltered dens, and they sleep for long periods to conserve energy. During warmer breaks, they may wake and forage, then return to rest again. This pattern lets them survive harsh conditions without needing a full seasonal shutdown. It is also why winter sightings can feel rare. The animals are still there, but they are waiting out the worst days. Their survival depends on good shelter and on entering winter with enough stored energy. In regions with severe weather, the den becomes a lifeline. It blocks wind, reduces heat loss, and keeps the raccoon out of danger when the landscape offers little reward. Winter is not a time for exploration. It is a time for smart patience. A raccoon's thick tail helps with balance while climbing and leaping. That striped tail is not decoration. It is a stabilizer. When a raccoon climbs, the tail acts like a counterweight that helps control the body's center of mass. When it steps onto a narrow branch, the tail helps with tiny corrections that prevent a slip. When it jumps across a gap, the tail helps keep the body aligned so the landing is clean. This matters because raccoons live in vertical spaces. Trees, fences, roof edges, and railings are part of their daily routes. Balance is not optional, it is survival. A fall can mean injury, and injury can mean death. The tail also helps with quick turns. If a threat appears, a raccoon can pivot fast without losing footing. That makes their climbing style look confident, even casual. Next time you see one on a fence line, watch the tail. It moves like a tightrope walker's pole. It is doing quiet work, but keeps the whole body safe. They can drop from impressive heights and still land running. Raccoons take risks other animals avoid because they have a strong sense of what their bodies can handle. They can drop from high places and hit the ground with surprising control. Part of that is instinct. They position their bodies to absorb impact, and they use flexible joints to spread the force. Part of it is practice. Young raccoons climb, slip, recover, and learn their limits early. This ability matters because their world is full of sudden decisions. A threat appears on a roof. A dog charges. A branch breaks. Sometimes the fastest safe move is down, immediately. If a raccoon can drop and keep moving, it can escape without being trapped above ground. That also helps with foraging. Reaching a food source in a tree is great, but leaving quickly is just as important. The ability to land and run turns height into an advantage rather than a trap. It is a form of athletic insurance. Raccoons use dozens of distinct calls to communicate mood and intent. If you only know raccoons as silent night visitors, you are missing their social world. They vocalize in many ways, and each sound carries meaning. There are contact calls that keep family members connected. There are warning sounds that signal danger. There are aggressive sounds that say, "Stay back." There are softer calls that appear during calm moments. These signals let them coordinate without constant visibility. That is especially useful at night and in dense cover. Sound travels where sight does not. You might hear chittering near a den site, or a harsh growl during a dispute, and it can tell you what is happening before you see anything. This is not random noise. It is communication shaped by survival. Clear signals reduce unnecessary fights, and they help mothers manage young. When you understand that raccoons have a rich vocal toolkit, they stop feeling like solitary thieves. They start feeling like a social animal with a language of its own. Kits chirp and squeal so intensely that mothers can pinpoint them. A baby raccoon cannot defend itself, and it cannot travel far early on. Its best protection is the mother's attention. That is why their calls are so urgent. The sounds cut through wind, through branches, and through the background noise of the night. A mother can locate a kit fast, even when it is hidden. This matters because young raccoons get into trouble constantly. They slip into gaps. They explore dangerous edges. They get separated in thick vegetation. When a kit calls, it is not just making noise. It is sending a lifeline signal that triggers a rapid response. The mother's ability to find it can decide whether it survives a close call. This also changes how you should interpret what you hear. Those cries are not cute background sounds. They are an alarm system, working exactly as designed. It is the sound of a vulnerable animal forcing the world to pay attention, and it often works. Mothers move their kits between dens if danger or pests appear. A den is not a permanent home. It is a safe room that stays safe only if conditions hold. If a predator discovers the location, the den becomes a trap. If insects or parasites build up, the den becomes unhealthy. If humans start activity nearby, the risk spikes overnight. Raccoon mothers respond with decisive action. They relocate the entire family. That move is not simple. Kits are small, slow, and easy to drop. Yet mothers carry them one by one, often choosing a new site that is better hidden or more secure. This behavior shows planning. It also shows how closely they monitor their surroundings. A mother is not just hunting food. She is constantly evaluating threats and comfort. That is a high workload. The move itself can happen quickly, and it can happen more than once. For the kits, it is a forced lesson in flexibility. Home is not a place. Home is wherever the mother can keep them alive. Raccoons may den in hollow trees, chimneys, attics, or storm drains. They do not demand a perfect natural hollow. They demand shelter that works. A hollow tree offers warmth and protection from many predators. In human areas, chimneys and attics can mimic that safe enclosed space. Storm drains and culverts can provide dry cover, stable temperatures, and hidden entrances. This versatility is one reason raccoons are so widespread. If a landscape lacks old trees, a city can still offer hundreds of substitute dens. The problem is that what feels like smart shelter to a raccoon can create conflict with people. A den in an attic can mean noise, damage, and stress. That is why prevention matters early. Once a den is established, the animal has a reason to return. Still, from the raccoon's perspective, this is intelligent use of available architecture. It is turning human structures into survival tools. When you understand the den choices, you start seeing a city as an ecosystem full of caves, tunnels, and protected chambers. They line dens with leaves, grass, and whatever stays warm. A den without bedding is a cold box. Raccoons know that insulation matters. They gather materials that trap air and reduce heat loss. Leaves, dry grass, and other soft plant matter become a simple technology for staying alive. This bedding also supports the young. Kits need warmth, and they need a surface that cushions them. The mother's choices can improve survival without changing the den itself. It is a quiet kind of engineering. Gather the right materials, and the same space becomes safer. This behavior also shows how raccoons respond to seasons. When temperatures drop, comfort becomes a priority. When rain is heavy, dry bedding becomes a priority. The materials are often replaced when they become damp or dirty. That maintenance may sound small, but it is a daily investment in resilience. For an animal that faces cold nights and long rests, bedding is not luxury. It is life support. Raccoons are famous for washing food, but it is usually sensing. People love the story that raccoons have neat habits and wash their meals like tiny chefs. The truth is more interesting. What looks like washing is often information gathering. When food is handled in water, the texture becomes clearer. Grit, shells, and inedible bits are easier to detect. The hands can map the shape and surface with better detail. In other words, the water is not soap. It is a way to improve touch. This makes sense for an animal that often feeds near water. A crayfish, a mussel, or a chunk of plant matter can all be tested quickly with wet handling. It is also why the behavior appears even when the food is already clean. The goal is not cleanliness. The goal is confidence. Is this edible? Is it worth chewing? Is it safe to swallow? Watching this, you are seeing an animal that uses its environment to enhance its own senses. It turns a puddle into a tool. Water makes their paws even more sensitive, like turning up a dial. Here is the surprising part. Water does not just help with handling food, it can actually boost how much the pores can feel. Wet skin changes the way touch receptors respond, and that can increase sensitivity. It is a bit like making a touchscreen respond better when you remove a barrier. For a raccoon, that boost can matter in the dark. It can mean faster recognition of a hard shell versus a soft plant. It can mean finding a hidden insect with fewer attempts. It can mean avoiding sharp debris without needing to see it. This is why raccoons often seek water even when they are not thirsty. They are not only drinking, they are upgrading the performance of their primary tool for exploration. That makes the environment part of their body. A stream is not just a place. It is a sensory amplifier. Once you know that, the behavior stops looking like a quirky habit and starts looking like a smart adaptation. They are omnivores, so their menu changes with every season. Seasonal change is a constant test. What is abundant in spring can vanish in late summer. What is easy in autumn can be buried in winter. Raccoons handle this by changing their diet as the landscape changes. When plants fruit, they take advantage. When insects are active, they switch to that. When waterways offer prey, they focus near the banks. This seasonal flexibility spreads risk. It reduces the chance that one bad month wipes them out. It also shapes their movement. They may spend weeks around one type of food, then shift their routes when the season turns. That is why a raccoon can seem to disappear from a neighborhood and return later as if on schedule. It is following food cycles, not human storylines. This also helps explain their resilience in new environments. If one resource is unfamiliar, they can ignore it and use another. They are not locked into a single niche. Their diet is a moving target, and that makes them hard to starve out. In spring, they target eggs, frogs, and fresh shoots. Spring is the raccoon's reset button. Winter leaves them lean, and spring arrives with easy protein and tender greens. Wetlands come alive, and shallow edges turn into hunting grounds. Eggs are a high-value prize because they are packed with nutrients and easy to carry away. Frogs become active again, and a patient raccoon can grab one at the waterline. Fresh shoots also matter because plants offer quick energy when fruit is not ready yet. This spring shift is not random snacking. It is a seasonal strategy that matches what the landscape offers first. It also puts raccoons in direct contact with many habitats at once. You can find them moving between nests, ponds, and new growth. Spring is when the year's food web wakes up, and raccoons are ready to take advantage immediately. In summer, they focus on berries, insects, and garden crops. Summer is when the world turns into a buffet that renews every day. Berries ripen in waves, and raccoons learn which patches peak first. Insects explode in number, and that provides steady protein that does not require chasing large prey. Gardens add a human-made jackpot, with soft fruit and vegetables that are easy to harvest. This is why summer raccoon routes can feel so consistent. They follow ripening schedules, and they revisit places that keep paying out. A single backyard can become part of a larger nightly circuit. Summer feeding also shapes their body condition for later seasons. The more efficiently they feed now, the better prepared they are for colder months. It is also when conflicts with people often spike, because gardens and compost piles become irresistible. Summer raccoons are not being naughty. They are being perfectly tuned to abundance. In autumn, they gorge on nuts and fruit to build fat. Autumn is the season of preparation. As temperatures drop, raccoons shift toward foods that store well inside the body. Nuts and late fruit are dense sources of energy, and they help build fat reserves that can carry an animal through scarce weeks. This is not casual overeating. It is survival banking. When you see a raccoon intensely focused on acorns or fallen fruit, you are watching a timed strategy. Fat becomes insulation, fuel, and insurance against bad weather. Autumn also changes their priorities. They may spend less time exploring new areas and more time returning to reliable trees. The goal is simple. Gather as much energy as possible while it is easy to find. Many wild animals do this, but raccoons are especially good at it because they can switch targets quickly when one tree stops producing. In winter, they raid leftovers and stored foods near people. Winter shrinks the natural menu. Insects are scarce, plants stop producing, and water edges can freeze. Human spaces become more tempting because they still contain calories. Leftovers in bins, food stored in sheds, and even pet food left outside can become crucial. A raccoon that finds a dependable winter source may return repeatedly because winter rewards certainty. This is also when raccoons often get bolder about entering porches and garages. The environment is demanding, and the risk can feel worth it. Winter raids are not about greed. They're about staying alive when the wild pantry is closed. It is one reason winter raccoon encounters can feel sudden. People assume wildlife disappears in cold months. Raccoons do not disappear. They adapt, and they look for the food that humans keep available all year. Raccoons can eat poisonous toads, but they prefer safer prey. Toads defend themselves with toxins, and many predators learn to avoid them quickly. Raccoons are unusual because they can sometimes handle prey that other animals reject. That does not mean they seek danger. They still prefer safer options when they exist. This flexibility matters when food is limited because it expands what counts as an acceptable meal. It also shows how raccoons manage risk. They do not charge into every hazard. They test, they choose, and they often move on if the cost is too high. When a raccoon does take a toad, it is using a survival option that is not available to many competitors. That can reduce competition during tough periods. It also reminds you that raccoons are not picky eaters with no standards. They are practical. They choose the easiest safe calories first, and they keep difficult prey as a backup plan. They sometimes hunt by waiting patiently beside water for movement. Not every raccoon hunt is chaotic rummaging. Sometimes it is stillness. Along a bank, a raccoon can crouch and watch the surface, listening for tiny splashes or ripples. The moment something moves, the strike is fast. This sit-and-wait method saves energy and increases success in the right place. Water concentrates prey, and it also funnels movement into predictable paths. A crayfish crosses a shallow section, a small fish hugs the edge, and the raccoon is already positioned. This hunting style is a good reminder that raccoons are not only scavengers. They can act like focused predators when conditions fit. Patience becomes a tool, and timing becomes the skill. If you see one frozen at a shoreline, you are watching a deliberate choice. It is not resting. It is hunting with restraint, and that can be just as effective as chasing. Their molars crush tough foods, while sharp teeth grip slippery prey. Raccoons eat a wide range of foods, and their teeth reflect that flexibility. They have molars that can crush and grind tougher items, like hard plant material or shells that need cracking. They also have sharper teeth that help grip prey that tries to escape, like fish or other slippery animals. This combination makes them efficient. They do not need to specialize in one diet to survive. Their mouth can handle many textures without wasting food. It also helps them process meals quickly, which matters when feeding in exposed places. A raccoon, that can bite, crush, and finish fast, reduces the time it spends vulnerable. Teeth are often overlooked, but they are part of the raccoon's success story. A body can be clever, but it still needs the tools to turn discoveries into nutrition. Their teeth are those tools, built for a life where the menu changes constantly. A raccoon's eyes reflect light, boosting night vision in dim places. At night, every bit of light matters. Raccoons have a reflective layer in the eye that bounces light back through the retina, which can increase sensitivity in low light. This is why you sometimes see that bright eye shine when a raccoon looks toward a light source. The benefit is simple. They can detect movement when the world is barely lit. A crawling insect, a twitch in grass, or a shape near the waterline becomes easier to notice. This does not turn them into perfect night hunters, but it gives them an advantage in the hours when many animals struggle. It also supports their whole lifestyle, because so much of their feeding happens after dark. Better low-light vision means fewer mistakes, fewer missed meals, and more safe movement through complex environments. When you combine that with their intelligence and flexibility, you get an animal that can operate confidently in a world most humans find unsettling. They can see well up close, which helps with precise paw work. Raccoons are not just feeling blindly. Close vision helps them guide fine movements. When they manipulate food, explore cracks, or handle small items, being able to see clearly at short range matters. It supports careful inspection, like checking whether something is edible or worth the effort. It also helps them work in tight spaces, where a slight misstep could cause injury. This is one reason their handling looks so intentional. They can bring an object close, look it over, and then act with accuracy. Close vision also works with their curiosity. When an animal can examine details, it can learn faster. It can notice how something is shaped, where an opening is, and what part moves. This does not mean raccoons have perfect sight in every situation. It means their eyes are well suited to the kind of life they live. Much of their world is within arm's reach, and their vision matches that reality. Their whiskers help them judge gaps and detect airflow in tight spaces. Whiskers are not decoration. They are sensors that extend the raccoon's awareness beyond the skin. In tight spaces, whiskers can help judge whether a gap is wide enough to pass through. They can also pick up subtle airflow changes, which can hint at openings and exits. That matters in burrows, drain pipes, brush piles, and cluttered human spaces. A raccoon often moves through places where visibility is poor and the risk of getting stuck is real. Whiskers reduce that risk. They let the animal test space before committing its body. They also help during climbing and edge walking, where a small miscalculation can mean a fall. If you've ever tried to feel your way in the dark with your hands, imagine having that ability built into your face. Whiskers turn the head into a probing instrument. They help raccoons move with confidence through environments that would slow many animals down. Raccoons often use the same latrine spot, which spreads parasites. Raccoons tend to return to specific bathroom sites, and those sites can build up over time. This habit creates a concentrated zone of waste, and that can allow parasites to spread more easily. It is one of the less charming parts of raccoon biology, but it is important because it affects both wildlife and people. A latrine on a flat roof, near a woodpile, or in a sandbox can become a health concern. The key point is that the risk comes from repeated use, not from a single visit. This is why cleanup and prevention matter in areas where raccoons are active. It also shows how an animal's behavior can shape the environment around it. A repeated sight changes what other animals do, and it changes where humans need to be cautious. Raccoons are fascinating, but they are still wild, and wild animals carry ecological consequences with them. That habit helps them mark territory and communicate with scent. Repeated bathroom sights do not happen only by accident. Scent is information in the mammal world, and leaving it in one place can act like a message board. It can signal that an area is being used, and it can help coordinate spacing without constant fights. Another raccoon can visit, sniff, and learn who has been around recently. This kind of communication is especially useful at night, when direct visual encounters are risky. It lets animals share a landscape while avoiding conflict. It also helps explain why certain spots keep being reused. If a location already holds scent information, returning to it reinforces the message. The result is a stable social map built from smell rather than sight. Humans often think of territory as fences and boundaries. Raccoons can create territory cues with simple, repeated behaviors. Their world is written in scent, and these sites are one of the places where that writing becomes concentrated and meaningful. They have scent glands that leave messages on trees and rocks. Raccoons carry their own ink. Scent glands allow them to leave chemical messages on surfaces like trees, stumps, and stones. These marks can communicate presence, status, and recent activity. For an animal moving mostly at night, scent marking is a powerful way to manage relationships. It reduces surprises. It can warn rivals. It can help individuals locate familiar routes. It can even support mating by advertising that an animal is in the area. You might walk through a park and see nothing unusual. A raccoon walking the same trail reads a layered story. Who passed through, how recently, and whether the area feels safe. This is one reason raccoons navigate so confidently in complex spaces. They are not only relying on memory, they are also using a live information system left by themselves and others. Their environment is full of messages that humans cannot detect, yet raccoons can. Raccoons can be surprisingly quiet, then suddenly burst into noisy chaos. A raccoon can move like a shadow when it wants to. It can step softly, pause, and listen, then slip through cover without drawing attention. That stealth helps it avoid predators and humans. But when a conflict starts, the sound level can explode. Growls, snarls, screeches, and rapid movement can make a small animal seem much larger. This sudden switch is not moodiness. It is a tactic. Quiet helps with safety and hunting. Loud chaos helps with defense. If two raccoons dispute a resource, noise can settle the issue without prolonged fighting. If a raccoon is cornered, a loud display can make a threat hesitate. People are often shocked by how intense the sound can be. They expect a silent scavenger. Instead, they hear a fierce confrontation that feels out of proportion to the size. That contrast is part of what makes raccoons so memorable. They can disappear when they choose, and they can dominate the night when they must. They are excellent at copying successful techniques from other raccoons. Learning does not always require direct trial and error. Raccoons can pick up cues from watching and from sharing the same environment. If one raccoon discovers a new way to access food, others may start attempting similar actions. This matters because it allows knowledge to spread through a local population. A problem solved by one animal can become a neighborhood skill. That is how a new food source can suddenly seem overrun. It can feel as if raccoons collectively became smarter. In reality, behavior can spread through imitation and repeated exposure. This kind of social learning helps raccoons adapt faster than animals that rely only on personal experience. It also means the environment teaches them. If they encounter signs of a successful method, like an opened container or a disturbed feeder, they get a clue. They learn what is possible. That pushes them to try and sometimes to succeed. It is a quiet form of culture, built from observation and opportunity rather than formal teaching. Young raccoons learn by play, which doubles as skill training. Play can look like wasted energy, but it is practice with low stakes. Young raccoons wrestle, chase, climb, and grab at objects for fun. At the same time, they are building coordination and strength. They are learning how to balance, how to grip, and how to react quickly when something moves. Play also teaches social rules. A bite that is too hard ends the game, and that creates feedback about control. These lessons matter later, when real survival problems arrive. A kit that has practiced climbing in play will be less likely to panic on a narrow branch. A kit that has practiced grabbing will be quicker with prey. This is why play is so common in intelligent animals. It builds a library of movements and responses that become useful later. Raccoon play may look chaotic, but it is structured growth. Every tumble is training, and every chase is rehearsal. They are opportunists, so they exploit new food sources quickly. Raccoons do not wait for tradition. If a new food source appears, they investigate and adapt fast. A fallen fruit tree, a new compost bin, or a change in a neighborhood routine can become part of their feeding strategy within days. This is what opportunism really means. It is not greed. It is responsiveness. They sample possibilities, then repeat what works. That makes them hard to predict and hard to deter with one simple change. If one route stops paying, they shift to another. If a new opening appears, they explore it. This flexibility is a major reason they spread so successfully into new habitats. Many animals are tied to a specific diet or a specific environment. Raccoons can pivot. That does not make them unstoppable, but it makes them resilient. It also makes them fascinating. You can see an animal actively testing the world, updating its behavior based on results, and moving on without hesitation. That is a very modern kind of intelligence, and it plays out in backyards every night. Raccoons can raid bird feeders, then return at the same hour nightly. Bird feeders are meant for quick visits from small animals, but raccoons treat them like scheduled restaurants. Once a raccoon finds a feeder that reliably contains seeds, it often builds it into a routine. The timing can become remarkably consistent. That is because regularity reduces risk. If an animal knows when people are asleep and when dogs are inside, it can choose the safest window. It also learns the easiest method for reaching the feeder, whether that involves climbing a pole, using a nearby fence, or approaching from a roofline. Over repeated visits, the raccoon becomes more efficient and faster. This is why people often think a feeder was attacked by many animals. The truth can be one regular visitor with good timing. A repeated raid also teaches the raccoon what human responses look like. If nothing changes, the habit strengthens. If a change appears, the raccoon tests it. Bird feeders become a perfect example of how quickly wildlife can turn a human hobby into a predictable food source. They sometimes fish with both paws, feeling for shells and fins. Fishing for a raccoon is often a touch-based hunt. Along a shallow edge, it can lower both paws into the water and sweep gently through the bottom. It is not looking for a dramatic splash. It is feeling for a hard shell, a smooth body, or a sudden twitch. Using both paws increases coverage and improves control when something is caught. If the prey slips, the second paw can block the escape. This method works well in murky water, where vision gives little help. It also allows the raccoon to hunt without committing its head into the water, which reduces risk. A raccoon can pull up a mussel, a crayfish, or a small fish with a quick controlled motion. Watching this is striking because it looks like careful work, not animal frenzy. It is closer to searching than chasing. This fishing style highlights what raccoons are best at. They combine patience with precision, and they let touch guide the hunt. Their front paws are so nimble they can untie simple knots. Most animals can paw. Raccoons can manipulate. Their paws can pinch and separate strands, and that lets them work on knots in a way that surprises people. In captive settings and in problem-solving demonstrations, raccoons have been observed loosening simple knots and pulling them apart. The key is that they are not using brute strength. They are using control. They can hold tension with one paw while the other explores for a loose end. This ability matters beyond party tricks. In the wild, nimble paws help with peeling, prying, and extracting food from tight spaces. In human environments, that dexterity can defeat closures that were designed with animals in mind. It also changes how you should think about raccoon behavior. When a raccoon approaches an object, it is not just sniffing. It is planning a hands-on investigation. That is why so many barriers fail. They were built for mouths and claws. Raccoons bring hands. Raccoons are great climbers, but they also dig for grubs and roots. That mix of skills makes them hard to outcompete. Climbing gets them into trees for fruit, nests, and safe resting spots. Digging opens a completely different pantry under soil and rotting wood. A lawn at night can become a buffet of beetle larvae, worms, and hidden insects. In wilder places, they work along fallen logs and riverbanks, pulling apart soft layers to reach food most animals miss. This matters because weather changes what is available. When branches stop producing, the ground still holds calories. Their bodies support both jobs. Strong forelimbs pull them upward, and those same limbs can rake and scoop. If you watch the ground after a raccoon has visited, you see shallow pits and flipped debris. It looks like searching, because it is. They do not just wander. They investigate every level of their habitat. They can squeeze through holes that look impossibly small for their bodies. Raccoons seem bulky until you see what they can slip through. Their bodies are flexible, and their thick fur can make them look larger than they are. If the head fits, the rest often follows, because the shoulders compress and the ribs can pass through tight gaps. This skill helps them enter hollow trees, crawl spaces, and the small openings humans forget to seal. It is also a survival tool. A narrow gap can be a perfect escape route from a larger predator. In cities, this becomes the reason they appear in places that seem sealed. A loose vent cover, a gap near roofing, or a damaged soffit can become a doorway. Once inside, they may find warmth and safety, which encourages return visits. That is why tiny repair details matter. You are not dealing with an animal that needs a wide door. You are dealing with an animal built to fit through mistakes. A raccoon's fur repels water, helping it stay warm after swimming. Raccoons spend time around water, so they need protection from getting chilled. Their coat has guard hairs that shed water, which reduces how much reaches the skin. Underneath is dense insulation that traps warmth. This design helps them leave a stream and keep moving instead of losing body heat for hours. It also helps during rain, wet grass, and snowmelt, which can soak many animals quickly. Staying warm matters because a cold animal burns energy faster. Energy is the currency of survival. A coat that resists water helps conserve that currency. It also supports their feeding style. They can wade, feel along the bottom, and handle wet food without becoming miserable. If you have ever worn a wet jacket on a cold night, you know how draining it feels. Raccoons reduce that problem with built-in protection. Their fur lets them treat water as opportunity, not as punishment. Their coat varies widely, from pale blonde to nearly black. Most people picture a grey raccoon with a dark mask, but the species has more variety than that. Some individuals are unusually pale, and some are much darker, depending on genetics and local populations. This matters because coat colour affects how an animal blends into its surroundings. A darker coat can disappear in shadowy woods and urban alleyways. A paler coat can be less noticeable in sandy areas or during bright winter conditions. Colour variation can also change how humans respond. A rare-looking raccoon can draw attention, which can increase risk in busy places. For the raccoon, colour is not fashion. It is part of how it moves through a world full of threats. When you see different colour forms, you are getting a reminder that nature is not stamped from one mould. Even within a familiar species, diversity appears. That diversity can influence survival in subtle ways, especially in environments shaped by people. Some raccoons show rare colour patterns like leucism or melanism. Every so often, a raccoon appears that looks almost unreal. Leucism can lighten much of the coat, creating a pale animal that still has some pigmentation. Melanism can do the opposite, producing an unusually dark raccoon that can look nearly black. These patterns are rare, and that rarity makes them stand out to both humans and predators. Standing out can be dangerous, because camouflage is one of the simplest defenses in nature. In a city, a rare colour animal may also attract people who want a closer look, which is not safe for the animal or for the person. Yet these colour forms are fascinating because they reveal the hidden genetic variation inside a population. Most of the time it stays invisible. Occasionally it shows itself in a way anyone can see. If you spot one of these raccoons, you are seeing a reminder that evolution is always experimenting. Most experiments stay hidden. Some walk right through a streetlight and become unforgettable. Urban raccoons can grow heavier because easy calories are everywhere. City life can turn a hard-working forager into a regular customer. Trash bins, restaurant waste, compost, and pet food can provide dense calories with far less effort than hunting. When food is easy, weight can climb, especially if the animal has fewer reasons to roam long distances. This is not a moral issue. It is a simple energy balance. If intake rises and activity falls, bodies store the difference. Heavier raccoons may look thriving, but there can be trade-offs. Extra weight can reduce agility, and it can make heat management harder in warm weather. It can also increase conflict, because a raccoon that relies on human food is more likely to keep returning. This is one reason secure waste matters. When people unintentionally feed wildlife, they reshape animal bodies, not just animal behavior. In a city, abundance can be as powerful as danger. Wild raccoons usually stay leaner due to constant foraging. In forests and wetlands, food often takes work. A raccoon must travel, search, test, and move on. It might cover a large area in a night to piece together a full meal. That steady effort keeps the body more athletic. Leaner does not mean weaker. It often means better climbing and quicker escapes. It can also mean better endurance, because the animal is built for nightly movement. Wild foraging also spreads risk. If one patch fails, another might still produce. That creates a lifestyle of continuous exploration. This is why wild raccoons can seem more cautious and more focused. They are not just wandering near one easy food source. They are managing a whole landscape. Their lean build is a sign of that work. It is the difference between grabbing a meal behind a restaurant and earning a meal by solving nature's daily scavenger hunt. The wild version of raccoon life rewards effort with thickness, Their life is risky, so many never reach old age. Raccoons live in a world packed with sudden hazards. Roads cut through territories. Predators patrol edges. Humans respond harshly when property is damaged. Disease spreads where animals gather around food. Even a small injury can become serious when an animal must climb, run, and forage every night. Because of all that, many raccoons die young. This is part of why they reproduce the way they do, with mothers raising litters that can replace losses. It is also why raccoons are so focused on practical choices. A risky feeding spot might offer huge calories, but it might also offer a fast death. The animal is always weighing that trade. When you see a raccoon in the open, it can look confident, but the life behind that confidence is not easy. Every night is a set of decisions that can go wrong quickly. Their success as a species comes from flexibility, not from safety. In protected places, raccoons can live well over a decade. When the biggest dangers are reduced, raccoons can reveal their full lifespan potential. In areas with fewer cars, fewer predators, and stable access to natural food, individuals can survive for many years. That longer life changes everything. It allows more learning, more experience, and better decision-making. A raccoon that has survived many seasons knows where the best shelter is during storms. It knows which routes avoid danger. It knows which areas become risky at certain times of year. Longevity also means more opportunities to reproduce across multiple seasons. In safer settings, you can end up with older, highly experienced animals that are exceptionally good at getting what they need. This is a helpful reminder when people talk about raccoons as disposable pests. They are not short-lived throwaways by design. They can be long-term residents of an ecosystem when conditions allow. Their shorter lives in many places are often the result of human landscapes, not a lack of resilience. Road traffic is one of their biggest modern threats. Cars move fast, they run at night, and they slice through habitats that raccoons still need to cross. A road can sit between water and shelter, or between feeding areas and den sites. Raccoons also spend time near roads because food ends up there, from spilled waste to roadkill. That pulls them into danger. Their curiosity can make it worse, because they may approach unfamiliar objects without understanding speed. Young raccoons are especially vulnerable since they are learning routes and timing. This threat is modern in scale. Predators have always existed, but highways and constant traffic create a risk that never sleeps. The result is a major source of mortality in many regions. It also shapes behavior. Some raccoons learn to avoid certain crossings, and others keep taking the gamble. When you see a raccoon on a roadside, you are watching an animal at one of the sharpest edges between nature and modern life. A single misjudgment can end everything. Dogs can also be a major danger, especially at night. Many dogs still carry strong chase instincts, and raccoons trigger them. At night, visibility drops for humans, but dogs can still detect movement and scent. That can lead to sudden confrontations in yards, parks, and alleys. For a raccoon, a dog is fast, powerful, and unpredictable. Some raccoons escape by climbing, but not every environment offers a tree or a fence in time. Dogs can also corner raccoons, which raises the risk of bites and disease transmission on both sides. This is why responsible pet management matters, even if a dog is friendly with people. A dog that is playful in daylight can be intense in darkness. From the raccoon's perspective, a yard with an off-leash dog is not a home. It is a hunting zone. When you understand that, you see why raccoons choose routes that avoid certain houses. They learn where danger lives, and they schedule around it. Coyotes and bobcats prey on raccoons when the chance is right. Raccoons are clever, but they are also a meal to larger predators. Coyotes can catch them on the ground, especially in open areas where climbing is limited. Bobcats are built for stealth and surprise, and they can ambush raccoons along forest edges and creek lines. These predators do not need to hunt raccoons every day to shape raccoon behavior. The possibility is enough. It pushes raccoons to stay alert, to choose routes with cover, and to keep escape options nearby. It also influences when raccoons move. A place that feels safe one night might feel dangerous the next if predator scent appears. This predator pressure is part of why raccoons value dens and trees so much. It is also why their nighttime confidence is balanced by constant scanning and listening. They are not fearless. They are calculating. Their survival depends on detecting a predator before the predator commits. That tension is always present in wild landscapes, even when humans do not notice it. Great horned owls can take young raccoons from exposed branches. A young raccoon may feel safe off the ground, but the sky has hunters too. Great horned owls are powerful, silent, and capable of striking with incredible force. When young raccoons climb and explore, they sometimes linger on exposed limbs or make noise that draws attention. That can create a brief window of vulnerability. Owls have excellent night vision, and they hunt with precision in darkness. For a mother raccoon, this is one more reason to control where kits go and when they move. It also shapes how young raccoons learn. Climbing is useful, but climbing without caution can be deadly. The presence of aerial predators adds another layer to raccoon life that people rarely consider. It is easy to imagine threats only on the ground. Nature does not limit itself that way. When you think of an owl taking a raccoon kit, you realize how intense the night really is. It is not just quiet roaming. It is a landscape full of unseen danger from multiple directions. Raccoons can carry rabies, so never handle one, even if tame. Raccoons can look approachable, especially when they appear calm or curious. That is exactly why this warning matters. Rabies hooking a wild animal is never safe, and rabies is one of the most serious reasons. Rabies affects the nervous system, and it can change behavior in ways that make an animal seem unusually bold or unusually confused. The risk is not something you can judge by looking. A raccoon that seems friendly can still be dangerous, and a raccoon that seems sick can still bite. The correct response is distance. Enjoy the sight, but do not feed it, trap it yourself, or try to rescue it with bare hands. If a raccoon is behaving strangely, contact local wildlife authorities. This protects you, your family, and your pets. It also protects the animal from being harmed by panic or misunderstanding. The fascination of wildlife should never turn into a close contact moment. With raccoons, respect is the safest form of admiration. They also carry canine distemper, which can spread to unvaccinated pets. Distemper is a contagious viral disease that can affect several carnivore species, including dogs. Raccoons can carry it, and outbreaks can move through local wildlife populations. For pet owners, the key point is prevention. Vaccination is what turns a serious threat into a manageable risk. A curious dog that investigates a sick raccoon or even contaminated areas can be exposed. Distemper can cause severe illness, and it is heartbreaking because it is often preventable with routine veterinary care. This is also why leaving food outdoors can backfire. Feeding raccoons can bring them closer to pets, and it can increase the chance of contact and spread. Distemper also affects raccoons themselves, and sick animals may behave oddly, move during unusual times, or appear disoriented. If you see that, it is not an invitation to approach. It is a sign to keep distance and seek proper help. Wildlife health and pet health overlap more than people realize. A common raccoon parasite can harm humans if eggs are swallowed. One of the main risks linked to raccoon latrine sites is a parasite whose eggs can be present in feces. The danger comes from accidental ingestion, not from casual outdoor presence. Eggs can contaminate soil or objects, then reach hands, and then reach mouths. Children are especially at risk because they play on the ground and may put fingers in their mouths. This is why awareness matters. If raccoons have been using a specific spot near a home, it should be treated with caution and handled with proper safety steps. The goal is not fear, it is prevention. You can still enjoy wildlife while taking smart hygiene seriously. The bigger lesson is that wild animals carry hidden passengers. Those passengers do not care whether an animal looks cute. They follow biology. If you respect that reality, you can reduce risk dramatically. It is one more reason to never encourage raccoons to linger near homes. Distance reduces contact. Reduced contact reduces risk. Good hygiene matters after gardening where raccoons have visited. Gardening connects you directly with soil and surfaces that wildlife also uses. If raccoons have been in the area, basic hygiene becomes an important safety habit. Wash hands thoroughly after working outside. Clean tools that were in contact with soil. Avoid touching your face until you are clean. If you find a suspected latrine site, do not disturb it casually and use appropriate guidance for safe cleanup. This is not about turning nature into a threat. It is about treating outdoor spaces with the same practical caution you would use in any shared environment. Raccoons are part of the ecosystem, and their waste can carry organisms that you do not want. Good hygiene is a simple barrier that protects you without harming them. It also helps families enjoy outdoor time with less worry. A small routine can prevent a big problem. If you are teaching children, this is a perfect lesson in how to coexist with wildlife safely. Admiration and caution can live together. Securing trash is the simplest way to reduce raccoon conflict. If you remove the reward, you remove most of the problem. Open trash is a bright signal to a raccoon that food is available without effort. Once an animal learns that a bin pays out, it will test it again and again. Secure containers break that learning loop. Tight lids, locking mechanisms, and keeping bins indoors until pickup time can make a huge difference. This also helps the whole neighborhood because raccoons travel routes. If one home is easy, the route stays active. If many homes become hard, raccoons shift away. This is one of those rare wildlife solutions that is straightforward and effective. It does not require harming animals. It requires changing access. It also reduces mess, odors, and pest attraction for humans. People sometimes see raccoon raids as a battle of cleverness. It does not have to be. Make the food unavailable, and the incentive fades. This respects the raccoon's nature while protecting your space. Leaving pet food outside can turn one visitor into a nightly crowd. Pet food is high-calorie, predictable, and easy to smell. For a raccoon, that is a perfect find. One raccoon discovers it, then returns. After repeated visits, other raccoons may also notice. The area can become a feeding stop for multiple animals. That can increase conflict, noise, and health risks for pets. It can also draw in other wildlife, which adds more complexity. The important point is that the change can happen fast. A single habit, like leaving a bowl out overnight, can create a new routine in the local ecosystem. If you want to reduce raccoon visits, bring food indoors and feed pets at set times rather than leaving it available. This is also kinder to the raccoon in the long run. Animals that rely on human food can become bolder and more vulnerable. When the food suddenly disappears, they may take greater risks. Keeping food inside encourages wildlife to forage naturally. It is a simple boundary that protects your pets and supports healthier wildlife behavior. Blocking entry points early prevents denning in attics and chimneys. Once a raccoon moves into a warm, sheltered space, it gains a reason to fight for it. That is why prevention matters most. Small gaps along roofs, vents, and chimneys can become entry points. If they are sealed early, the animal never gets established. If they are left open, the space can become a den, especially during breeding season when shelter matters most. A den inside a home area can lead to noise, damage, and a stressful situation for everyone involved. The best approach is to inspect and reinforce before there is a problem. Use proper covers for chimneys. Repair loose boards and damaged vents. Close gaps that look minor. Raccoons are persistent, and they will test weaknesses repeatedly. If they find one that works, they will remember it. Prevention avoids a much bigger conflict later. It also reduces the chance of forced removal, which can be dangerous for animals and humans. In wildlife coexistence, early boundaries are the calmest solution. Raccoons are native across much of North America, from forests to coasts. That wide native range tells you something important. This animal is not built for one perfect habitat. It can live in deep woods, marshy shorelines, mountain valleys, and coastal edges. It can handle hot summers and bitter winters, and it can switch behavior when the landscape changes. In the north, it relies more on sheltered dens and seasonal food cycles. In warmer regions, it can stay active for more of the year. Along coasts, it can use tide lines and shoreline foods. Inland, it can work creeks, fields, and forests. This flexibility is why raccoons feel familiar to so many people. You can travel huge distances and still find signs of them. Tracks by water, claw marks on trees, and overturned stones are all clues. When one species can fill so many roles, it becomes a constant background character in the story of North American wildlife. They were introduced to parts of Europe, where some populations spread. When raccoons arrive in a place that did not evolve with them, the balance can change fast. In parts of Europe, introduced raccoons found suitable forests, waterways, and towns that offered shelter and food. They can use old buildings, parks, and river corridors as ready-made habitat. The challenge is that local species may not have defenses against a new nest raider with nimble paws. New competitors can pressure native animals, especially those already struggling with habitat loss. Once a population becomes established, removal becomes difficult. Raccoons are adaptable, they reproduce, and they learn the landscape quickly. A few animals can become many in a short time if conditions are right. This is a clear example of how human choices can move wildlife across the world, then create problems that are hard to reverse. A raccoon in a new continent is not just an interesting sight. It can become an ecological force. They were also introduced to Japan, then became a serious invasive issue. Japan is a striking case because raccoons became popular through media and then entered the real world. Once released or escaped, they found food, shelter, and few natural checks in many areas. They can raid crops, damage buildings, and disturb habitats where local species did not evolve with them. Their climbing and digging skills let them access places that feel protected. They also use urban and rural spaces together, which makes management complicated. Efforts to control invasive populations can be costly and emotionally difficult because the animal looks familiar and charismatic. Yet the impact can be real. When an introduced predator targets nests and small animals, it can push vulnerable species closer to decline. This story is a reminder that wildlife does not stay inside the box of human intention. A cute idea can become a national challenge once an adaptable animal starts living on its own terms. Raccoons reshape local ecosystems by raiding nests of birds and turtles. A nest is a concentrated package of nutrition. Eggs are rich, and they do not run away. Raccoons can find nests by smell, by pattern, and by careful searching along the edges where many animals hide their young. When raccoons become abundant, nest losses can rise, especially for ground-nesting birds and turtles that lay eggs on beaches or riverbanks. That can change population trends over time. Fewer hatchlings means fewer adults later. This is why raccoon numbers matter to conservation projects that protect nesting sites. It is also why some areas use fences, predator guards, and human monitoring during breeding seasons. The raccoon is not being evil. It is doing what it evolved to do, which is exploit available food. The ecological consequence is the key point. A clever omnivore can ripple through a community by targeting the most vulnerable life stage, which is the nest. They are strong enough to flip heavy lids when motivated. Strength matters when food is locked behind obstacles. A raccoon can brace with its body, grip the edge with both paws, and use leverage like a small weightlifter. This is why bins that feel secure can still end up open. It is not always delicate lockpicking. Sometimes it is raw power applied in the right direction. Motivation is the fuel. If the smell is strong and the reward is high, the effort rises. That strength also shows up in climbing. They can haul themselves up rough surfaces and hold on while shifting their weight. In the wild, strength helps them pull apart rotting logs and move stones near water edges. In human areas, it turns casual barriers into challenges. People often underestimate them because of their size. The mistake is thinking strength only comes in big bodies. Raccoons are compact, but they are built for demanding work every night, and that work adds up. Their curiosity makes them investigate anything new in their territory. Curiosity is a survival strategy for an animal that lives by discovery. When something changes, a new smell, a moved object, a fresh sound, a raccoon wants to know what it means. It might be food. It might be danger. It might be a new route. So they approach, pause, test, and learn. This is why raccoons are often seen near new construction, new bins, or fresh landscaping. They treat novelty as information. That curiosity can create problems for people, but it is also a window into their intelligence. Many animals avoid new things because new things can kill. Raccoons balance caution with investigation. They do not rush in blindly. They handle, sniff, and assess. Over time, curiosity builds a mental model of the neighborhood. A raccoon that has inspected every change becomes harder to surprise and easier to sustain. If you want to understand why they keep appearing, start with this trait. They are always checking what the world is offering. Raccoons can learn which neighborhoods put bins out on which nights. This is where their memory meets routine. If a street becomes a reliable food event once a week, raccoons can treat it like a repeating appointment. They learn the pattern through simple experience. One successful night turns into return visits. Over time, they link certain days, certain smells, and certain routes with reward. That learning creates a kind of urban map built around human schedules. It also explains why problems can feel synchronized. People on one street complain on the same night, then the next street complains the next night. The animals are not random. They are following the trash calendar. This is also why small changes can work if they break predictability. Putting bins out later, securing lids, and avoiding overflow reduces the payoff. When the payoff disappears, the route becomes less attractive. The fascinating part is the learning itself. A wild animal is effectively tracking a weekly human behavior pattern, then using it to survive. That is not instinct alone. That is adaptation in real time. Some researchers use puzzle boxes to measure raccoon problem solving. Puzzle boxes create a fair test because the same challenge can be offered again and again. A box might require sliding a latch, lifting a door, or turning a mechanism in a specific order. Researchers watch how quickly an animal explores, how long it persists, and whether it changes strategy after failure. With raccoons, the results often highlight their hands and their focus. They touch more, manipulate more, and keep trying longer than many people expect. These studies are not just entertainment. They help scientists understand cognition, learning, and flexibility. They also help explain why raccoons do so well in changing environments. A city is basically a giant puzzle box, full of barriers and hidden rewards. When a raccoon succeeds in a lab task, it is showing the same toolkit it uses outdoors. The point is not that raccoons are tiny geniuses. The point is that they have the right kind of intelligence for a world full of obstacles. Puzzle boxes make that visible. Raccoons show persistence, often repeating attempts long after failure. Many animals quit when effort does not pay off quickly. Raccoons often do the opposite. They keep testing. They return later. They try again from a different angle. This persistence matters because obstacles are common in their life. Food is behind bark, under rocks, inside shells, or sealed by human containers. Persistence turns a difficult meal into an eventual meal. It also creates learning. Repeating an action gives the brain more chances to notice what works. Over time, persistence becomes skill. You can see this in how raccoons interact with barriers. They do not simply slam into them. They probe. They pull. They pause and shift. That is persistence with strategy. It is also why they can become a lasting nuisance if a food source remains reachable. A raccoon that fails today might succeed tomorrow, simply because it refuses to stop trying. The fascinating thing is how this trait changes the landscape. Persistence makes raccoons effective at exploiting new opportunities, which in turn pushes humans to invent better barriers. It becomes an arms race of effort and ingenuity. They can adapt to people, yet they still need wild space. Raccoons can live near humans, but that does not mean they thrive on pavement alone. They still need cover, den sites, and natural foraging areas where they can behave normally. Parks, river corridors, wooded edges, and green strips become lifelines in urban regions. These spaces give them safer movement routes and places to rest without constant disturbance. Without wild space, raccoons are pushed into higher risk choices, like spending more time near roads and bins. That increases conflict and increases mortality. So adaptation is not the same as independence from nature. It is more like flexibility inside limits. A raccoon can use a city, but it still depends on living systems within that city. This is important for how we think about coexistence. If a town removes green space, it does not remove raccoons. It often just forces them into tighter contact with people. Keeping wild space can reduce conflict by giving animals alternatives. The surprise is that supporting nature can also support calmer neighborhoods. When raccoons have room to be raccoons, they cause fewer problems. A raccoon's body is built for climbing, not long-distance sprinting. Their strength is in bursts and balance, not marathon speed. A raccoon can move fast when startled, but its body is better suited to climbing, gripping, and navigating uneven terrain. Short legs, strong joints, and a sturdy frame make it excellent at hauling up surfaces and controlling descents. That matters because climbing is often the safest option. Trees, fences, and rooftops offer escape and rest. This body design also supports foraging. They can climb to reach fruit and nests, then drop back down to search along the ground. Long-distance sprinting is less useful in their lifestyle because they do not hunt by chasing for miles. They hunt by searching and manipulating. Their body matches that. It is a climber and an explorer, built for three-dimensional movement rather than straight-line speed. If you picture a raccoon as a runner, you miss the point. Think of it as a small mountaineer with hands. That is where its athleticism shines. They can stand briefly on hind legs to scan surroundings. This upright stance is a quick way to turn the body into a lookout tower. When a raccoon rises, it gains a better view over grass, brush, and obstacles. It can also catch scents carried by the breeze more effectively. This behavior is common at edges, like the border between a yard and a wooded strip, or the boundary of a path and a creek bank. The animal is checking for danger, checking for food, and checking for movement. It is a simple action that reveals how alert they are. A raccoon does not assume a place is safe. It verifies. The stance also helps them locate sound sources, because changing head position changes how sound reaches the ears. For a night animal, this matters. It needs quick situational awareness. Standing up is a fast scan, then it drops back down and continues. If you see this posture, you are watching decision-making in real time. It is not posing. It is gathering information before acting. They often pause to listen, then pivot instantly toward a sound. This is one of the clearest signs that they are constantly processing their environment. A raccoon can be walking, then freeze like a switch flipped. It listens for a moment, then turns sharply toward the source. That pivot is not random. It is targeted, like a compass needle snapping into alignment. The sound might be prey moving under leaves. It might be another animal approaching. It might be a human door opening. The pause is a safety check, and the pivot is a decision. This habit also helps explain why raccoons can seem unpredictable to people. They are not following a single track. They are responding to a stream of cues that humans may not notice. In a quiet night, tiny sounds become important. The ability to stop, focus, and react quickly makes them efficient hunters and cautious travelers. It also shows how much of their success comes from attention. They are not just wandering through darkness. They are actively listening to it. Raccoons are excellent at pattern learning, like doors that always swing. Pattern learning is the ability to notice repeated rules and use them. A door that opens only one way is a rule. A gate that clicks before it moves is a rule. A flap that sticks unless you lift first is a rule. Raccoons learn these rules through repeated interaction. Once learned, they can use them with speed and confidence. That is why a barrier can hold for a while, then suddenly fail repeatedly. The raccoon has learned the pattern. It knows where to push, where to pull, and what step comes first. This skill matters in the wild too. Trails, feeding times, and animal movements also follow patterns. A raccoon that learns patterns gains predictability in an unpredictable world. It can spend less energy guessing and more energy succeeding. This is a key difference between random exploration and effective adaptation. Many animals react to the moment. Raccoons can learn the rule behind the moment. That is a big cognitive advantage. They can generalize lessons, applying one trick to new situations. This is where intelligence becomes flexible. Learning one specific action is useful, but learning a concept is far more powerful. If a raccoon figures out that lifting a latch releases a lid, it may start trying similar lifting motions on other lids. If it learns that food is often hidden under cover, it may start checking any cover it sees. This ability to transfer a lesson reduces learning time in new environments. It also explains why raccoons can move into a new neighborhood and become effective quickly. They do not start from zero. They bring a set of rules learned elsewhere and test them in the new place. Sometimes the rule works. Sometimes it fails and they adjust. Generalization is what makes them feel like they are always one step ahead. You fix one problem, then they solve a different one using the same idea. This is not magic. It is cognitive flexibility. It is the skill of taking a lesson from one context and applying it to another, which is the basis of real problem solving. Raccoons sometimes share dens in extreme cold, especially among males. Cold turns comfort into survival. When temperatures drop far enough, conserving heat can matter more than personal space. In those conditions, some raccoons may den together, and this is often seen among males. Sharing reduces heat loss and makes a sheltered space more effective. It is a practical choice, not a social cuddle. Outside the coldest periods, adults may be more solitary, but extreme weather can temporarily rewrite social rules. This also shows how flexible their behavior is. They are not locked into one fixed social structure. They respond to conditions. Den sharing can also reduce energy needs, which lowers the need to forage in dangerous conditions. That can mean fewer risky trips across roads and fewer encounters with predators. It is a strategy that buys time. When you imagine winter survival, it is easy to picture constant struggle. Sometimes survival is about doing less. Staying still, staying sheltered, and staying warm can be the winning move. Shared dens are one way raccoons make that move. Females usually avoid sharing space when raising kids. Raising young changes priorities completely. A mother needs control of the den, control of access, and control of risk. Sharing space with other adults introduces uncertainty. Another raccoon could bring conflict. It could attract predators. It could disturb the kids. So females are more likely to keep a private den during the nursing period. This behavior also supports learning. A stable den becomes a base where kids can develop strength and coordination without constant disruption. The mother can leave to forage, then return to a predictable, safe spot. That reliability matters because kids cannot travel far early on. Privacy is also protection. A hidden den with limited traffic is less likely to be discovered. This is one reason you may see different social behavior depending on season. A raccoon that tolerates neighbors in 1 month may become far more defensive in another. Motherhood changes the equation. Safety becomes the main currency. That includes the safety of secrecy, and solitude helps maintain it. Breeding happens once a year, timed so kits arrive in warmer months. Timing is everything. If kits were born when food was scarce and cold was harsh, survival would drop. So raccoons time reproduction so the young arrive when the world is warming and resources are rising. Warmer weather reduces the risk of chilling. Longer nights and growing plant and insect activity increase feeding opportunities for the mother. This seasonal timing is a deep part of the raccoon life cycle, and it shapes behavior you can see. You may notice more den seeking, more cautious movement, and more urgent foraging in the period around raising young. The mother needs extra energy, and she needs secure shelter. One breeding cycle per year also means each litter matters. The investment is large. The goal is to raise young that are ready to face their first winter with skills and body condition. This rhythm is a reminder that raccoons are running on a biological calendar as much as they are responding to daily chance. Every year is a planned sprint to prepare the next generation. Litter sizes vary, but 4 kits is a common number. A litter is a bet placed against a dangerous world. Too few young, and chance losses can end a family line. Too many young, and the mother may struggle to feed and protect them. A common litter size balances those pressures. Variation happens because mothers differ in health, age, and local food conditions. A well-fed mother in a rich habitat may raise more young successfully. A mother in a harsh area may raise fewer. What makes this fascinating is how much the environment influences reproduction. Raccoons are not producing kits in a vacuum. Their bodies respond to local realities. Litter size also shapes family dynamics. More kits means more competition for milk and warmth, and it means the mother must manage more movement and noise. Fewer kits can mean more attention per young, but also less margin for loss. When you see a group of kits trailing a mother, you are seeing the outcome of a high-stakes calculation made by biology and circumstance. Each kit represents a chance of the future. Kits start exploring outside the den after several weeks of growth. The first steps outside the den are a major milestone. Before that, the world is mostly warmth, darkness, and the mother's presence. Then the den opening becomes a doorway to risk and learning. Kits begin with short trips, often clumsy and cautious. They climb over roots, paw at objects, and test surfaces with their hands. Every movement teaches coordination. Every new smell teaches recognition. The mother's role shifts from sheltering to guiding. She leads them to safe areas, and she keeps them close enough to respond fast. This exploration period is where a raccoon becomes a raccoon. Skills are built through repeated small experiences, not through one dramatic moment. The kits learn what to fear, what to chase, and what to ignore. They also learn the geography of their home area, which becomes the base for independence later. If you ever see a line of young raccoons following a mother, you are watching a training expedition. It is one of the most important phases of their lives. Mothers defend kits fiercely, using teeth, claws, and loud threat calls. A mother raccoon is not looking for a fight, but she will end one fast if her kits are threatened. Her whole strategy is to stop danger before it gets close. She uses warning sounds first, because noise can make a predator hesitate. If that fails, she escalates. Teeth and claws are not for show, they are for creating space. This defense is especially intense near the den, where kits cannot escape. It is also why approaching a family is risky, even if the animals look calm. A mother can switch from cautious to aggressive in a second. That reaction is not cruelty, it is protection. This behavior shapes where mothers choose to raise young. They favor places with quick escape routes and limited access. When you see a mother standing her ground, you are seeing the cost of parenting in the wild. She cannot outsource safety. She must provide it, even if it means facing something larger than herself. A kit's early diet is milk, then soft foods from mum. At first, a kit's world is simple: warmth, sleep, and milk. Milk provides everything it needs to grow fast, while the kit stays hidden and helpless. As the weeks pass, the diet shifts. The mother begins introducing soft foods that are easier to chew and digest. This transition is a bridge between babyhood and real foraging. It is also how kids learn what counts as food. Smell and taste become lessons. Some foods are safe, some are bitter, some are hard work, and some are worth chasing. The mother controls the pace, because moving too fast can make a kit sick or weak. This feeding change also reflects the mother's workload. She must forage for herself and for her growing family, then return to deliver the right kind of food. When you think about a kit learning to eat, you are really thinking about a mother converting the outside world into nutrition and training at the same time. Young raccoons practice climbing repeatedly, falling often without serious harm. Learning to climb is not a single skill, it is a whole set of skills. Grip strength, balance, distance judgment, and calm decision-making. Young raccoons build these through repetition. They climb a little, slip, scramble, and try again. Many falls are short and onto forgiving ground, which is part of why practice works. Each mistake teaches them how bark feels, how branches flex, and when a surface is unreliable. This matters because climbing is their main escape plan. A raccoon that climbs well can avoid ground predators and reach safe resting spots. It can also access food that is out of reach for many animals. Practice does not happen in a classroom. It happens on real trees, real fences, and real ledges, with real consequences. Yet the kits keep trying. That persistence turns awkward beginners into confident climbers within a season. When you see a young raccoon scrambling and recovering, you are watching the creation of a survival skill that will decide its future. They use their noses constantly, sniffing the air like living radar. A raccoon's night is built on smell. The nose can locate food long before the eyes can see it. It can detect a fruit tree, a compost pile, or a hidden carcass from a distance. It can also detect danger. The scent of a predator, the trace of another raccoon, or the smell of humans can change a route instantly. This constant sniffing is not dramatic, but it is continuous. The animal is reading invisible signals with every breath. Smell also helps with decision-making at close range. A raccoon can sniff an object and decide whether it is worth handling. That saves time and reduces risk. In a complex environment like a city, smell becomes even more important because sight is interrupted by walls, fences, and shadows. The nose can see around corners in a way eyes cannot. This is one reason raccoons seem so purposeful at night. They are not wandering in darkness. They are following scent information that humans do not notice, and they are doing it with remarkable precision. Their footprints look almost human, which can confuse trail watchers. Raccoon tracks can stop people in their tracks because they resemble tiny hands. The front prints often show long finger-like toes, and they can look like a small child's handprint pressed into mud. That resemblance comes from their anatomy. They have flexible digits built for gripping and handling. In soft ground near water, the prints can be crisp and detailed, which makes the illusion stronger. This matters for tracking because it can lead to wrong assumptions. A person might think a human or a primate passed through when it was actually a raccoon moving along the bank. The tracks also tell a story about behavior. You could often see the path weaving, pausing, and approaching the waterline, which matches their foraging style. If you learn to recognize raccoon prints, you start seeing their presence everywhere, even when you never see the animal. That is one of the most exciting parts of wildlife. It leaves signatures. Raccoon tracks are some of the most distinctive, and they can turn a normal walk into a detective story. Raccoon tracks often show long fingers and a clear palm pad. The detail in a raccoon print is incredible when the surface is right. You can often see 5 toes spread like a hand, and behind them, a broad pad that looks like a palm. This is not just a quirky track shape. It reflects how they move and how they use their front paws. Those digits help them grip bark, hold food, and probe crevices. On trails, the tracks can reveal pace. A slow walk leaves clean, separate prints. A faster run can stretch the pattern and show longer strides. Tracks can also reveal habitat use. Near creeks, prints may cluster around shallow edges where they forage. In yards, prints may lead to fences, bins, or pet doors. Learning to read these signs makes raccoons feel less like random visitors and more like consistent residents following routes. It also makes their intelligence feel tangible. A hand-like track is a clue that this animal interacts with the world differently. It does not just pass through. It reaches, grips, and explores, and the ground records that story. They can wade and feel for prey without looking at all. This is one of their most impressive hunting skills because it turns darkness into an advantage. In shallow water, raccoons lower their paws and search by touch alone. They feel for movement, hard shells, or soft bodies hiding under silt and stones. When they detect something, the grab is quick and controlled. They do not need clear water or moonlight. They only need contact. This method also reduces wasted effort. Instead of snapping at shadows, they confirm the target by feel. It is a very efficient way to hunt in places where vision is unreliable. It also explains why they spend time along water, even when they are not drinking. Water edges are full of hidden life, and raccoons have the right tools to access it. If you could only use your hands to find something in a dark bucket, you would need skill and patience. Raccoons do that every night, and they often succeed. That is why they can thrive in wetlands, along rivers, and in stormwater systems inside cities. Coastal raccoons may specialize in crabs, clams, and other shellfish. Living by the ocean changes the raccoon menu, and some individuals become specialists. Tide lines expose food on a schedule, and raccoons learn when those opportunities appear. Crabs hide under rocks and seaweed. Clams sit buried in sand, and other shellfish cling to surfaces. These foods are rich, but they require handling skill and persistence. A coastal raccoon learns where to search and how to pull prey free. It also learns which items are worth the effort. This creates a version of raccoon life that looks almost like a different animal. Instead of raiding gardens or forests, it patrols shorelines and works the intertidal zone. The ocean becomes a pantry that refills twice a day. This specialization shows how adaptable raccoons are. They do not only survive near the coast, they can build a whole lifestyle around it. When you think of raccoons, you might imagine trash bins. Coastal raccoons remind you they are also capable wild foragers with a strong connection to natural cycles. Some raccoons become expert garden raiders, targeting corn at peak ripeness. Corn is a perfect target. It is dense, sweet, and predictable once it starts ripening. Some raccoons learn exactly when to strike. Too early, and the kernels are hard. Too late, and humans harvest. So the timing becomes precise. A skilled raider can enter quietly, choose the best ears, and leave little behind except damaged husks. Gardens also offer cover and easy navigation, which makes them safer than open fields in some places. This behavior frustrates people, but it also shows planning and learning. The raccoon is tracking the growth stage of a plant and matching its visits to that stage. That is not random feeding. That is timing-based strategy. It also teaches an important lesson about conflict prevention. If a garden becomes a consistent reward, it becomes part of a nightly route. Changing access and reducing attraction is more effective than reacting after damage. The garden raider is not acting out. It is optimizing its diet, and corn is one of the best prizes. They have strong jaws, yet they prefer easy meals over fights. A raccoon is capable of defending itself, and its jaws are powerful enough to bite hard and hold on. That strength is a last resort tool, not a lifestyle. Most of the time, raccoons choose the easiest path to calories. Fighting costs energy, risks injury, and can attract attention. An injured raccoon struggles to climb and forage, which can be fatal. So they avoid conflict when they can. They look for food that does not fight back, and they use stealth and timing to reduce confrontation. This is why they often raid at night, and why they prefer quiet access rather than direct competition. Strength is there, but it is not the first choice. This preference also shapes their social behavior. When resources are plentiful, tolerance is cheaper than fighting. When resources are scarce, they may grow more aggressive, but even then the goal is quick resolution. The bigger point is that raccoons are efficient. They survive by making smart trade-offs, not by being constant brawlers. In folklore, raccoons often appear as clever tricksters and problem solvers. Across many stories, the raccoon is not a brute force monster. It is the clever character that uses its wits to win. That reputation did not appear by accident. People observed a real animal that opens things, steals cleverly, and escapes in surprising ways. Folklore turns that behavior into personality. The raccoon becomes the one that outsmarts stronger rivals, finds hidden food, and slips away at the last moment. These stories matter because they shape how humans relate to wildlife. A raccoon becomes more than a nuisance or a fur coat. It becomes a symbol of cleverness. That symbolism can spread widely, appearing in children's tales, local legends, and modern cartoons. Folklore also preserves old observations. Even without scientific language, it captures something true about behavior. When many cultures independently describe the same animal as clever, it is a clue that the animal really does stand out. The raccoon earned its role by being itself, and people noticed. Early fur trade history prized raccoon pelts for warmth and durability. Raccoon fur is dense and insulating, and that made it valuable in colder climates. In earlier centuries, pelts were practical technology, used for clothing that had to hold up in harsh weather. A durable pelt meant fewer replacements and better protection. That demand shaped human interactions with raccoons for a long time. It influenced hunting pressure, local economies, and the movement of goods. It also shaped cultural identity in some regions, where raccoon skin garments became familiar symbols. This history matters because it shows how one animal can become entangled with human survival and commerce. It is easy to think of raccoons only as modern city animals, but their relationship with people is older and more complex. The fur trade era also reminds you that wildlife populations can be changed by market forces, not just by habitat. When an animal's body becomes a product, human behavior can shift quickly and widely. Raccoons have lived through those pressures, and they are still here, which says a lot about their resilience. The raccoon hat became a cultural symbol long after the frontier era. A raccoon skin cap started as practical cold weather gear, but it later turned into an icon. People wore it as a statement, not just for warmth. It became tied to ideas of the rugged outdoors, self-reliance, and frontier identity, even in places far from the frontier itself. This transformation is fascinating because it shows how animals enter culture in unexpected ways. A raccoon becomes a costume piece, a mascot, and a shorthand for a whole story about America. Over time, the hat appears in photos, in political moments, and in popular entertainment, which keeps the image alive long after the original need fades. The animal becomes part of human symbolism. This also affects how people perceive raccoons today. An animal that is part of costume and comedy can be underestimated as a real wild creature. Yet the symbol began with a real material, taken from a real animal with a real ecological role. Culture can flatten complexity, but it can also keep memory alive. The raccoon hat is a perfect example of that. Raccoons can climb onto roofs, then travel along fences like highways. To a raccoon, a yard is not just grass. It is a three-dimensional network. Roofs provide elevation and a clear view. Fences connect properties like narrow roads that avoid open ground. This route choice has advantages. It reduces encounters with dogs. It avoids bright open areas where predators can see. It also makes movement efficient, because a fence line can lead directly to food sources like gardens, bins, and trees. Once a raccoon learns a good route, it can use it repeatedly with confidence. That is why people sometimes see raccoons appear in the same place night after night. The route is stable, like a commuter path. Roof travel also increases access to entrances like chimneys, vents, and attic gaps, which is why home maintenance matters. When you imagine how raccoons move, do not picture random wandering on the ground. Picture an animal that uses height and structure to create a safe travel grid across a neighborhood. It is navigation with intent. They are surprisingly patient, waiting quietly for a perfect moment to steal. Patience is a form of intelligence. A raccoon often wins by timing, not by speed. It may wait near a feeding opportunity until activity settles. It may pause until a dog goes inside. It may hold still until a human light turns off. This waiting can last longer than people expect. The animal is trading time for safety. It is also gathering information. While waiting, it listens and watches for cues that tell it when risk drops. This strategy works especially well in human environments where routines are predictable. A raccoon does not need to fight a person or a dog. It needs to wait for the moment when neither is paying attention. This is why raccoon behavior can feel calculated. It often is. The patience also reduces noise. A raccoon that rushes makes mistakes. A raccoon that waits can act cleanly and leave quickly. If you've ever found a bin opened with no obvious struggle, patience is one reason. The animal did not arrive and panic. It arrived, assessed, and acted when conditions were right. Raccoons can recognize individual rivals and adjust behavior after encounters. Wildlife is not just species versus species, it is individual versus individual. Raccoons can remember specific opponents and change how they act based on past interactions. If one rival is aggressive, an individual may avoid that area or shift its timing. If a rival is weaker, it may challenge more boldly. This recognition reduces wasted conflict. It helps an animal choose when to stand its ground and when to move on. It also shapes local social structure. Certain individuals can dominate key resources, and others adapt by finding different routes. This kind of social memory is one reason raccoon behavior can feel strategic. It is not only about food availability. It is also about who else is using that food. Recognizing individuals also matters during mating season, when competition rises. An animal that remembers past outcomes can make better choices. It can avoid injuries and conserve energy. When you realize raccoons are tracking social history, they start to feel less like random visitors and more like calculated participants in a complex parade. Nightward. They avoid bright light, but they will risk it for food. Bright light usually signals danger. It can expose an animal to predators and to humans. Raccoons tend to prefer shadowed routes, and they often pause at the edge of lit areas before crossing. Yet food can override caution. If a strong smell is coming from a well-lit patio or a bright alley, a hungry raccoon may take the risk. This is a simple window into decision-making. The animal is weighing reward against exposure. You can sometimes see this hesitation in their body language. They stop, scan, and then commit. Light also changes how people see them. A raccoon in a lit space looks bold, even brazen. The raccoon may simply be desperate or motivated. This is why leaving food out can increase visible encounters. It pulls wildlife into risky zones. When you reduce food rewards, raccoons spend less time near bright places. That makes neighborhoods quieter and safer for everyone. Light is not a barrier by itself. It is one factor in a risk calculation, and food can tip the balance. A raccoon's success comes from brains, hands, and endless adaptability. No single trait explains raccoon success. It is the combination. Brains let them learn and remember. Hands let them manipulate and access hidden resources. Adaptability lets them shift diet, timing, and routes as conditions change. Put those together and you get a survivor that can handle forests, farms, and cities with equal confidence. This combination also creates a feedback loop. When they solve a new problem, they gain access to a new resource. That new resource supports survival and reproduction, which increases the presence of animals with the same toolkit. Over time, the species becomes a master of living at edges, where different habitats meet. That is why they seem to appear wherever humans live. Humans create edges, barriers, and new food sources. Raccoons bring the exact tools needed to exploit them. Their success is not luck. It is a suite of traits that match a changing world. If you want to understand modern wildlife, raccoons are one of the best examples. They show how intelligence and flexibility can be as important as speed or strength. They are not pets, yet they keep outsmarting our best barriers. People sometimes treat raccoons like mischievous domestic animals, but they are fully wild. That means they do not have the trust bond or predictable behavior that pets develop. They are also physically equipped for trouble, with sharp teeth, strong claws, and quick reactions. The reason they seem to outsmart barriers is that many barriers assume simple animal behavior. A raccoon will test, adapt, and return. It will try a latch from multiple angles. It will use its weight for leverage. It will remember what worked. This creates a frustrating cycle for humans. One solution works for a while, then fails. The correct response is not to try to be cleverer in the moment. It is to remove the reward and close the access points consistently. That is what breaks the cycle. The fascination here is that we are watching a wild animal challenge human engineering at a small scale, night after night. It is a reminder that nature does not stop learning when it enters a city. It learns faster. If you understand raccoons, you learn how intelligence thrives in the wild. Raccoons are a clear case study in what intelligence is for. It is not for looking impressive. It is for surviving uncertainty. Every night, a raccoon meets changing conditions. Weather shifts, food appears and disappears, humans alter the environment, and danger moves. Intelligence lets an animal respond without needing millions of years of evolution for each new problem. It can learn within a lifetime. It can adjust routes, test objects, and avoid risks based on experience. That is why raccoons feel so modern. They thrive in the same kind of complexity humans create. When you understand raccoons, you also change how you see other animals. You stop thinking of them as simple instinct machines. You start looking for learning, memory, and decision-making. The wild is full of minds solving problems, often silently, often at night. Raccoons make that visible because they bring their intelligence into our neighborhoods. They force us to notice that cognition is not rare. It is a common tool in nature, and it can be powerful in small bodies. As we come to the end of our journey with raccoons, you might notice how different they feel now. Not as a blurry backyard visitor, but as a real animal with a real life. We have followed them through dark tree lines and city streets. We have watched them solve problems, read the world with their hands, and move through the night with careful attention. We have seen how they change with the seasons, how they learn patterns, and how they survive by remembering what works. We have stepped into their hidden world of roots, dens, water edges, and quiet decisions. And maybe the most surprising thing is this: the more you understand them, the more the night feels alive. Not empty, not silent, just full of lives unfolding out of sight. A raccoon pausing to listen, a mother guiding her kids, a set of small footprints by the waterline, a masked face turning toward a sound, then vanishing into shadow. If you enjoyed this sleepy science episode, you can support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, or leaving a comment. It helps more people discover these calm little journeys, and it tells me what you would like to explore next. And if you are still awake, there will be another video waiting for you on screen. You can let it play and drift into a new world, or you can simply rest right here with the quiet that follows. For now, let your breathing slow. Let your jaw unclench. Let your shoulders drop. You have nothing to solve, nothing to hold, and nowhere to be. Just the steady rhythm of your breath and the gentle feeling of the day fading away. Sleep well, and good night.